Hello, everybody. A really handy habit to get into is when you're trying something new using Zoom, log into your own Zoom meeting and try things out from the student or the participant perspective. I know by this time in the pandemic, most of our students are used to the teacher, oh, sorry, that didn't work. Oh, hold on, wait. But, it's helpful if we can get it right on the first time and keep up that thin veil of authority. So, right now in my meeting, I have just me as the host, and I want to join in my own meeting. Now, there's a couple of tricks. So, first of all, there's some settings that you need to adjust. Let's go to the Zoom website and check those settings. So, here we are on the Zoom website. I'm going to go back to my meeting controls and the settings. Now, the feature that you're looking for is the co-host feature. Because if you're logging in as yourself with your normal login mode, then Zoom will be trying to figure out what to do with this host of the meeting logging in twice. And so you want to take a look at the co-host features for your meeting. So I always type that into the find feature of my web browser. So Control F brings this up. I type in co-host, and here it's the second option, co-host. So allow the host to add co-hosts and make sure that feature is turned on. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to do. Now, keep in mind that if you're already in your meeting, you'll have to stop the meeting and then restart it, because certain features such as this aren't updated from the website into the meeting that is currently running. So you might have to stop your meeting, change that setting, and then restart it. Okay, so here I am in my meeting, and if I use my handy TDSB device in order to log into this meeting, it's nice and simple. So I have the list of meetings appearing in my TDSB device. I hit start, and then it talks to cyberspace. And then here I am appearing as a co-host in my own meeting. So now if I look at my device, I'm able to see things from the student perspective, or at least partially. So right now, the other version of me is registered as a co-host. And so what that does is gives that other version of me some controls over the meeting that the typical student or participant would not have. So I'm going to withdraw those co-host privileges, and that turns the other version of me into a regular student. Now, sometimes with all these windows running around, I get confused. Who is the real Chris Meyer and who is the pretend one? So I'm going to rename this other version of me student. And that way I can easily keep track of who is who. Now, at least for me working in the TDSB, if I want to try logging into this meeting using a personal device, there's another trick that we have to adjust for that. So let's take a look. We go back to our meetings, our settings, and our meetings here. So I'm going to go up to my meeting here. This is my grade 9 science classroom. And I'm going to have to edit a feature. So this is tinkering with an important security feature that you should always keep on. And if you do turn it off, you have to remember to turn it back. So normally, as a default, the require authentication to join is selected. And that forces students to sign in with the TDSB account. That's a really important security feature to make sure only the right people are getting into your meeting, especially if you reuse your meeting links. So I have this turned off to allow me to log in with my own personal device. Now, when I do that, I will have to manually type in the meeting ID here and the passcode. So often those features appear, that information appears here. So you take a look, okay, here's my meeting, there's the ID, and if you click on the meeting, it brings up the information that you have set. Here's the passcode, which normally hides, and you just click Show. So on my other computer, I'm now entering the passcode, and voila, I'm now logged on my personal computer into the Zoom meeting. And so let's head over to Zoom meeting here. I've gotten the note that this other Chris Meyer wants to get in. I will admit that person. And once again, in my participant window, I'm going to rename that person and call that person student 2. Okay, so I will also turn off the video for that person, just because I find it helpful to see those labels, student 1 and student 2. So now you can control your meeting as you normally would from your regular computer. You can do your screen sharing, and then you can take a look at how it appears from the student perspective, from the student side of things. And that I find is really important because Zoom does really sneaky things. The controls that the participants and the students have are slightly different. They will have fewer controls, and that makes sense. They shouldn't be able to control every aspect of Zoom. But sometimes those controls are hidden and located in different places. And so being aware of that is really helpful as a teacher, so you can give appropriate instructions to your students. So please test the features before you try something new for the first time. It can save you a lot of fiddling time while you have your students there waiting.